in the cabbage.
Let's get it.
Test.
Yeah, we're live.
Welcome to In the Cabbage. This is crazy.
This is pretty bananas right now that we're actually doing this.
I'm Tommy Swain, Andrew Witt. Please subscribe, please listen, please download, like. And just a reminder, keep swinging. Welcome back to In the Cabbage. I'm your boy, Tommy Swain. To my right, or your left, Andrew Witt.
Yo.
We're back for another banger. You know, just cranking these episodes out.
Week by
Reliable.
week, baby.
Week by week. Unlike the Chargers, can't trust them
Jesus
for
Christ.
anything. You can get one half of good football from the Chargers. You get one half where the offense works. You get one half where the defense works. And the whole game, the coaching sucks.
You said the Chargers, and it immediately deflated my mood.
Yeah.
I come in with the yo, what up? And I just go radio silent for a good 15 there.
I mean, he needs to get fired. It's for sure needs to happen. I think it's in the works.
I think we just roll right into this topic because you sent me a post on Instagram.
Right.
And it is about Harbaugh coming on over from Michigan.
Right.
Go win yourself a national championship real quick.
They should.
And then come on over to the boys over in L.A. for the better blue team that's in L.A. I mean, I don't know.
More potential.
Right, for sure. More potential.
Way
100%.
more potential.
And we need a little bit of leadership. And I think Harbaugh is going to bring that. He's a very experienced coach for the 49ers, very successful over at Michigan, clearly does whatever it takes to win. All for that.
Right. I mean, whether the rumors are true or not, at least his organization wants to win. And they're trying to win. Where it feels like the Chargers are just doing everything in their power not to win.
It looks bad at times, dude. And at overall energy levels, it's all over the place. It's really high at some points. And then when things just start going bad, everyone just starts hanging their head.
Here we go again.
Right. And it's just like, I get it. Okay, maybe the Chargers are cursed, but like, goddamn, boys, don't play into it.
Right, they just want to believe it.
Yeah, it's like it's their identity at this point. Let's fucking change it up a little bit, my guys.
We've had some stellar players in the Chargers, all-time players, and they still can't get multiple dubs out of
whether you can't stand Phillip Rivers or not, because I was not really a big fan of Phillip and how he carried himself on the field. Great quarterback, going to be in the Hall of Fame. You got LT, you got Antonio Gates. That was a pretty special squad that was rolling through for about 3 to 5 years.
My favorite
pretty recently
of that little era, Sean Merriman.
Yeah, I mean, what a special player that guy is. I mean,
the light switch dance was electric in itself.
We got to do a top like 3 nicknames or something like that.
Oh yeah,
eventually.
That's a good one.
Because the light switch is up there, dude. Are you kidding me?
The light switch dance was electric. It was the light switch dance, and it was Ray Lewis's tunnel entrance dance into the game. Those 2 dances alone get you more fired up than anything else.
Yeah. And they're so simple, but it's just pure raw energy.
Yeah.
And it translates over the TV, let me tell you.
It does, man. You would get fired up.
And there was a moment in this last game. It was a brief moment, but we scored our first touchdown. And there was maybe a little glimmer of hope against the Ravens. And Gerald Everett caught this touchdown pass and bullied his way into the end zone. Do you remember this? And he gets up and he does the Ray Lewis dance.
Love that.
Against the Ravens.
I do. I didn't recognize him the dance right away because I was just hyped he scored it. I think I walked away after he scored it.
Okay.
But
I'll play the clip because the man got hype and got with it.
Love it.
And I thought that might have been the spark to get us back into it. Nope. And then we just go back in our old ways there.
We suck, man.
I'm sorry I dragged you into this. Just really, really high hopes of a season. And, here we are.
Football
in true Charger fashion
is really demoralizing like that because there's not enough games to make up a chance. Like fantasy football, your season could be done at 0-4.
It's hard to come back from because then you might start turning it around and you start putting up 115, 122, 118, and you're just catching L's because you're just going against every single person that's going off against you. It's just kind of chance.
Yeah.
It's kind of luck.
And football seems very similar in that way where you go NFL, you go 0-4, like your season's done. Like the Chargers' season is done.
They are not mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, but you might as well write it off.
Unless the only thing that would save us right now is a coach firing.
Yeah.
Because then the boys might rally. But they're not going to do that, I don't think, this year. I think they're going to ride it out regardless. Give them this year.
Problem is, well, I don't know our special, like, coaches, like specialized coaches for, like, DBs or running backs or linemen.
Mm-hmm.
I know the offensive coordinator. I don't know a ton about the defense coordinator, but like my point is that I don't know who would step into that new head coach.
I think our head coach calls the defense.
Yeah, but I'm sure is there a defensive coordinator?
I don't think so. I think our head coach is our defensive coordinator.
So are you only allowed a defensive or an offensive coordinator and then the head coach has the other?
No, you're allowed to have both. But sometimes head coaches will just call their defenses or offenses.
Right. Okay. I thought there was still a defensive coordinator, though.
There could be.
Scheming.
For sure.
And helping the head coach. Because overall,
I just can't think of his name. I just know the offensive coordinator. I know our head coach. I remember nothing about our defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Probably a pretty good thing because he sucks. So he's just hiding in the back drinking Gatorade.
Sure. He's like, oh, Brandon Staley's a defensive guru, so he's calling all the shots. It ain't falling on me.
Right. Defensive guru. What crazy thing to be known for is like the defensive side of the ball where you can do shifts and you won't have to react on the offense. So much harder to be like a defensive guru than I think an offensive guru.
Sure.
Because offensive guru, you can just be super creative. Like the Chargers, like hook and ladder play they ran.
Mm-hmm.
Like all that stuff can be very cool to do and easier than it is for like a defense because you have to react.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot more film and picking up techniques and stuff like that.
And it's like, what would they potentially audible to? So then you can potentially change your coverage. What hot routes do they like to run?
Right. Right. Talking about defensive specialists, Draymond Green. Also in the headlines again for not a super pleasant thing. Basically, their two teams got into a fight pretty early in the game. It was Minnesota.
Yeah, because he was choking out Rudy.
And I just wanted to talk about it real quick because I find it to be crazy. Like there was pushing and shoving going on.
Who, the situation, a reaction, or just Draymond Green in general?
Draymond Green in general and the
What a
situation. It's clear that his team likes him, so it's got to speak volumes to the type of person he is off the court. And what he brings to the Golden State Warriors must be so hard to find.
Or he's brainwashed him.
Or or like, like it's crazy to think that this guy's still on the team right now. Doesn't bring much offensively. Defensively, still, I think a good defensive player. He's almost phased out as not just because of his athleticism. Yeah, he's much slower than he once was, but also because the NBA is now bigger.
I was going to say it's also a skill thing too.
Yeah, he's just not.
He's a little phased out.
He's just, to me, just doesn't really fit the mold. I think that's why they went and got Chris Paul, is because Chris Paul can now be the offensive general and the offensive guidance for this team, rather than Draymond playing more minutes for that guidance.
Sure.
Because Draymond ran the offense. For all intents and purposes, that's what he claims, and what I've heard on podcasts is the law of the offensive stats start with Draymond. Mm-hmm. Because he comes up from the key, catches the ball, and then there's a lot of on-ball screens with him and Draymond. A lot of him reads from him and Clay.
Right.
That we all ran constantly. No, that's kind of Chris Paul's job. Mm-hmm. But I think Draymond is crazy. I mean, I've seen podcasts of him. He seems like a decent guy off the court, but that's bananas. Just going up and choking another NBA player like that.
Yeah. No, it is. And also, I don't know. It's just weird because we do see all of the Golden State Warriors, head coach, staff, Clay, all these guys are going on live television and saying, like, no, Draymond's like, the glue. He does all this, blah, blah, blah. It's weird to hear that and us looking in, not seeing any of it and only seeing him just being a major ass on the court, just being a menace.
To even do his own team. Punched Jordan Poole last year.
Exactly. That was what I was going to bring that up next, dude. Punch his own teammate.
I mean, that's like, I can kind of understand why Jordan Poole, prior to that season happening, wasn't known as this douche that I catch him to be now. Like, kind of this know-it-all, I can do these certain things on the court that people can't type of vibe I'm getting from him. And I bet you he was just even worse that summer. And Draymond probably wanted to put him in his place, but like, he can't do that.
Not your teammate.
Like, it's just
maybe a shove. Sure,
a shove, like getting in his face,
right?
Hard foul,
about competing, whatever. Not straight out of the gates throwing a haymaker to his grill.
Kind of like not even looking at him either. It's almost a cold cock.
Yeah.
So when you do that, like, your team's never the same. When another person punches somebody else that isn't Steph Curry, because you can do it as a superstar, right? Michael Jordan famously punched Steve Kerr, and the team still went on, and won championships.
Sure. Okay.
So you have to be a more famous person to throw a punch. You gotta like be Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal.
That, or maybe the situation was a little bit better, right?
Right. Like, it's just Draymond is just known to be a dick, like choking out that play. It just felt like he elevated the situation to such a high degree because of the choking.
Right. And it was not even that elevated to begin with because it was only pushing, shoving. Obviously, there was probably some name calling.
Grabbing, for sure. Like, right. He's throwing around
Granted, the Klay Thompson's jersey got ripped and blah, blah, blah. But, like, really? We got to go and also Rudy Gobert was not even really affiliated with what was going on.
No.
He just went in there and grabbed the first person he saw.
And then Draymond just came in storming like an idiot and grabbed him and choked him out. And then he always goes back like, I know who I am. I know the type of person I am. On and off the court. It's always this mantra of like, it wasn't that big of a deal. I know who I am. My family could forgive me. I got to look in the mirror. It's like, yeah, you do have to look in the mirror, but you're also a public figure. So you can't just look in the mirror. You got to look at everyone else. And you're setting an awful example for your team. One, like, I'm sure your team was like, cool, get our back, great. But like, at the same time, it's like more unwanted press, more eyes on you. Not making the dynasty look great by any means. Not holding this team that once is really like crazy stats and multiple championship runs and wins, and
it's not a good look.
Not a great look for the dynasty.
No.
And it's just, you're just kind of shitting on what you're building in Golden State by continually doing things like this.
Yeah, buddy. I mean, I couldn't agree more. And it's just another person that's kind of like that is just Pat Bev to me.
Better though, recently.
But it is much better. Like, and he doesn't really he does it in a different way, where it's annoying, but it's all within the game. And it's never something that is something that's taken off the court too much. He does talk a little bit of trash off the court, but actually he just kind of plays with a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, he does it the right way. If you're talking the three biggest instigators in the NBA, being Draymond Green, him, and then there's a guy from Houston, Dylan Brooks. Oh. Those three guys,
yep.
Patrick Beverley does it the best. You would want Patrick Beverley on your team over those three guys because at least he brings some shooting. So does, Dylan Brooks, but he's just does it better. Dylan Brooks brings out the anger in people. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it does the opposite effect. Like, Draymond's just an idiot. He can ruin team chemistry. And you kind of have to have him on the court because I'm sure his ego is just crazy. But Dylan Brooks, just doesn't really, bring the chemistry either.
He also, yeah, I know. He seems like he's kind of almost standoffish to his team at times. And then last year sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, my bad. He makes teams play harder against him.
Yes.
Like, Dylan Brooks makes players like LeBron want to murder him.
That was exactly where I was going because
Right.
they met in the semifinals in the Western Conference last year.
Yeah.
And it was a trouncing. I don't know what he was calling off or calling LeBron, but it was some form of wash and, old man, all that kind of stuff after he was done putting up like 28, 8,
I think it was
the whole season.
play-in or something. It was like the first round.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, because Houston wasn't that great to get past that. Like we pretty much bulldozed them.
Well, whatever it was, LeBron just proceeded to basically
destroy him,
remove him from
his team,
the Timberwolves, the Grizzlies.
Yeah, the Grizzlies.
Basically removed him from the Grizzlies. They benched him that series, and then they released him later.
Yeah, like just benched him, couldn't play, and then see you later.
And now he's playing for the Rockets. Is he having any success over there?
He's not doing bad. He's not,
he's just back to his average, 12,
shooting
3,
okay, 3. Playing good D,
Sure.
There would be times he'd pop off out of nowhere, like back in the day. He was much better offensive player than he is currently.
I definitely watched him a couple years back and thought that he could actually be a good, solid role player.
Yeah, like he seemed like he could be what Austin Reeves is currently. Mm-hmm. That man's having a great season off the bench.
He's bouncing back right now, and I loving what Ham is now doing with the rotation with the squad now with the boys and having him coming off the bench.
Yeah, it just seems to work better. I think him, and he closes games too. I think that's big for a guy coming off the bench that you're like, hey, you're gonna start on the bench because we want your energy coming off the bench to add into sparks of offense and running our floor, and you could come in for multiple people. Where when you have like Tyrone Prince coming in, like it's just like, I'd rather have Austin Reeves kind of get the energy switched really fast.
I think it also plays really, really well because Austin Reeves has a very, very high basketball IQ.
Yeah.
Understands the game. And once you get LeBron and a couple of those main pieces out off the starting squad, you need someone to kind of, be the floor general of that second squad, those like 7, 8, 9 players that are kind of coming in and working in. That's where Reeves can really excel.
And he finishes a lot of games for us.
Yeah, he does.
Like not just like being in the game, but finishing offensively as well.
He's
like
subtly
big bucket, big defensive stop.
I agree, dude. He's subtly like very much our like kind of sneaky MVP of the team.
Yeah, I'm really glad that he turned it around because it got really worrisome there for a hot second, which it always does when you sign a player back. After a first year of really a blowout season, you're like, was that just kind of a Jeremy Lin thing or was that
a Jordan Poole thing?
Right. And it seems like he's exactly who I thought he would be. Like a really great, on anyone's team, a great third option, a perfect third option. Could finish games for you. It's got the clutch factor, not afraid of the big shots, but really can't lead a team. I wouldn't say you would want him as your second offensive option yet on a team, but he fills in a perfect third role.
Austin Reeves, if you're listening, golf podcast over here as well. Ooh. I know you're all about the links, baby, and swinging those sticks. So
I would love to play golf with Austin Reeves.
That'd be so sick. And there is a really cool YouTube video. I don't know if you checked it out, but if anyone's Austin Reeves fans and wants to learn a little bit more about him, there is an episode with Good. I believe it's Garrett, not the whole Good crew.
Yeah, but GM Golf.
Yeah, there we go. GM Golf. And he just plays, I think, like 6 holes with him. And he just asks like a lot of... Grant is actually a very, very good interviewer.
Grant was always my favorite.
He doesn't
in that group
because for our liking, he is not so much a rah. I'm acting a fool out here, big putts, this and that. It's very much more intimate, is what the feel that I get with him.
Yeah,
he does that really well with interviews, and so I really like that video with Austin Reeves. You should check it out if you haven't seen it.
Is it Grant or Garrett?
Oh, maybe it's Garrett.
I think it's Garrett. We're really just fumbling.
The other dude is Grant. He's a taller, tanner one.
Yes,
Garrett is the one I'm talking about.
We're just fumbling the bag. I'm just thinking about one day when we have, guests on and this podcast grows to a level where people are actually going to fact check us. Like, we're going to need somebody to we need someone to sit with us and like Google things. And I'm just going to call it like the correction mic and they can have free game just to correct us the whole podcast.
It could be mid-sentence.
We just need like
a siren, silence, cut off.
Just like a quick little bleep, stop. Actually, Tommy, you missed the name there. Fool. It's this and this. It's basically we need a third host who can interact with us, bring up topics, and tell us when we're absolutely dead wrong.
We'll get you 9 yards there. You just got to get us you be the vulture here.
Get us that tush push over there.
Exactly.
We just need that extra little half yard.
We ain't doing it for each other right now.
No, man, it's tough right now. I think we're just also burnt out. I'm burnt out from Thanksgiving mainly. Just was an exhausting weekend.
Yeah. Holidays are always very, very fun, but they take a lot out of you.
Yeah, because family of divorce, you just are constantly traveling. And in-laws too. Thank God they're not divorced because I couldn't imagine trying to do 4 things. Mm-hmm. And it's just
it's a lot.
You just got to find out how to plan it with your families. Hopefully you do what you do, which is you could convince people to do it on different days. And you just kind of make a weekend out of it.
Seems to be the most logical thing. But, I get it how some people don't want to do it on non-Thanksgiving Day because there's other family coming into town. And, you try to work it out. But obviously there's a little bit of drama that comes along with it. So I guess we can just find some silver lining here and just say that, we are thankful that, we do have both sides going for us right there, like we do have both sides of the fam. So
working with it. Very thankful. It was a Gary Thanksgiving.
A Gary Thanksgiving?
Great. I said great.
Did you?
I said great.
Well, also I'm part deaf now too.
That is true. You're deaf and your back doesn't work.
You're deaf in one ear.
I'm definitely deaf in one ear. And I have torn tissue in my knee. We are just falling apart. If we ever have a shot at doing the summer solstice at Bandon Dunes, we have to fix ourselves. I gotta shave off another good 50 pounds.
I mean, can we explain this real quick?
Yeah,
we can get the word out real quick. It's something that we've been wanting to do. I feel like it is one of the pinnacle golf trips. It would be. You just go play Bandon Dunes,
which is a award-winning golf course in Oregon on the coast. Multiple tracks there. Right. I think there's 8 now. Mostly
link style, primarily, and on the cliff up in Oregon, and they are allowing, I don't know how many people. Let's call it 100 people, just for the sake of it, right now.
Right.
Every single year, you have to go in and put your name in a raffle, and then those 100 people get to go and play 5 rounds of golf, or basically as much golf as they possibly can in one day on the summer solstice, and that would be our dream and really cool opportunity to do that. Just a very bucket list. There's not a lot of people that get to do that. It's kind of cool to look back in your life, say you did it.
Totally.
I think that's why we kind of have it really high up there. But I could not agree more. We would have to go into a fitness journey.
We would have to go into a bubble for the next year, it feels like, to recover from these injuries.
Put me out there in saran wrap in the real world.
Just duct tape. I would love to go do it, but it just feels like our bodies just, I don't know, man. We got a couple more years to be able to do it, I think. There's guys out there who are 50 and doing it, which is just something I would love for me to do, but I got to shave off a cool 50.
Sure.
And a knee brace probably the whole time.
I need to have a bionic back installed. I also need to probably have constant supply of some smoothies out there because your boy is very susceptible to cramping.
Yeah, you need constant smoothies.
And if that, or I'll just take up power walking in my free time.
I think we need to train for it. I think on every Sunday morning we need to go walk
10 miles.
10 miles with a just walk.
Not just walk, probably go like hike.
Yeah, you want to be like in better shape. You want to work harder than what you're doing.
A little bit, because then you can go for a 5-mile hike,
Yeah.
And you're still not putting the so-called wear and tear and grind that you would for just walking a sheer 10 miles, but you're working a little bit harder during those 5. So that could be a good way to do it. That wouldn't be so bad.
Going up Sunday morning, go for a long hike.
Sure.
I got Peters Canyon over here.
That doesn't sound too bad. Then we can wash it down with a little taco mesita or something like that afterwards.
Taco mesita, another fire little spot. Switching back to some mainstream topics here, since we kind of were talking about golf, let's get into some Tiger. It seems like Tiger Woods is going to play a tournament a month, and I can't be more excited for the game of golf and the PGA Tour to get their star and idol back.
I think this is absolutely massive right now, given all the stuff that's going on and still going on with LIV and PGA, right?
Yeah, it's just, I'm over the LIV and PGA thing. Same. I really just, at this point, golf can never just be LIV. Like, it can't be this team thing. Like, there has to be 2 flavors to it or whatever, or not. And they just need to figure it out. I'm also tired of hearing about players leaving and not leaving and money and this and bad GM and people are leaving the board. Like, I'm just over it. Just play golf. Just let me forget about what I'm doing here on the Sunday and just go slap the ball around and just shut up.
Yeah. Let your game do the talking, which is what Tiger was so good at.
Right. Just go out and play and hit the ball. Play well. If you want to go to LIV. I'm over it. You want to be a part of that shit show over there that gets like no publicity in the eyes of like good golf.
Fine. I don't want to hear about it anymore. I'm with you. And you threw a little hypothetical out to me before we started the pod, because this kind of came up really briefly, and you were like, dude, if the PGA and LIV Tour are going head to head and butting heads throughout the course of this next season, it's gonna like potentially ruin golf.
Yeah, it's gonna really be hard for professional golf to bounce back from, because at some point you need to bring eyes onto the game of golf, because we had so much buzz. Now, would I like the buzz to die just a little bit so I can get some Orange County golf back into my life at a decent price and a decent time? Yeah, I would. But to keep the game growing and active, you can't just keep having 2 leagues fighting, joining, not joining, and players leaving and not leaving. It's just too much. And hearing about it all year, like the Ryder Cup was supposed to be this break, but it was such a shit show from the USA team. Like, it just wasn't a break for me. I still heard LIV rumors and stuff, even though it was a great tournament. It just
it's too much.
It's just too much.
It's overwhelming. It takes away from the limelight, and it separates the good players from all the great players. So having the 2 leagues is definitely something that is going to be more of a hindrance, I think, down the line. You just need all the best players to play in the same place. That's how you know who's hot and who's not, who's playing well, who's putting together some special seasons. Because for all I know, Bryson DeChambeau shot like a 58, whatever that was.
Yeah.
And like apparently it was on like one of the worst courses, or like one of the easiest courses to do, right?
Right.
You told me something about the slope.
The slope rating wasn't that high. The average field score there was extremely low all
like
weekend.
5 or 6 under or something like that.
Yeah, it was just like, it wasn't as impressive as going out and shooting that at Augusta.
You obviously you still got to shoot 58.
Right. I can never. Like, very impressive, very cool. But if we're talking like tournament impressiveness compared to other pros, it's not up there for one of the best rounds of golf ever.
Sure. And so I feel like that was all we heard was he shot 58, and then not, some extra information about it. But I guess the whole point is that Tiger coming back and announcing that he's going to play is such a big thing for the PGA Tour, and how they're going to be able to maybe eliminate this LIV talk.
Yeah, I think it'll be a fun thing to see this year with Tiger Woods taking over and just playing in more tournaments. I know I would love to see him come up in one of these tournaments this year, especially maybe in January with the Palm Springs trip coming up, would be all time. I don't think he'll ever play in that tournament, not normally when he plays, but maybe because it's warmer, a little flatter, that might be something he want to do.
That would be one of the coolest things if we saw him play over there. Yeah, it's not something he usually does. When's the Hero World Challenge?
That's soonish.
Right? Isn't that like in a couple weeks?
Yeah, so that'd be his like late November, early December, which then would make sense if he wanted to do a tournament in January. The only one that's really in January that's any decent is the American Express. So, which we will be to. Officially bought tickets. Very excited to go see my first professional golf tournament. I get to go 2 days. Very fortunate.
You know what we're going to do? We're going to go live. And the Cabbage is going to go live when we're at that tournament.
You want to go Instagram live?
Yeah, we're going to go Instagram live, baby.
I love that. We
Catch
can do
us
that.
over there.
Do a little podcast in the backyard or something.
We'll be that on the course.
Yeah.
Whatever we want to do, we're going to be live for a good chunk, and let's see if who wants to tune in for a little bit. Because we'll be also celebrating a little 30th birthday.
Yeah, buddy turns 30.
I'm finally climbing that, getting over that hill.
Where did you think 5 years ago you'd be at when you turned 30?
I mean, how cynical do we want to be right now?
I mean, I guess mine was like I'm basically done working at 30. Was my goals at like 21? Like, well, I'm 30. I'm going to be like basically retired. I'll have my own company.
Yeah, 5 years ago. So where was I? I was like coaching. I mean, it's hard to say because then you weren't really kind of accounting for that COVID time. And that was basically like 2 years that were just like null and void. I mean, I guess you could have like invented something or whatever, but I don't know.
Like holes, like the stinky sock or the stinky shoe remedy. We're just in there batching up a smell for shoes.
God, dude.
That's you remember that movie?
You're reaching what?
Holes? The movie Holes.
Yes.
Okay, the dad in that movie they're dead broke.
Right.
And the whole time he's in the movie trying to make a recipe to eliminate the smell of stinky shoes.
That's right.
And at the end of the show, after they lift the curse and he eats the onion and does all this crazy shit, he spills something in his shoe and the smell is gone. And then they become rich.
Yep. I do remember that there.
They adopt a son. It's just a banger of a movie.
No. I know the movie. I forgot what they were actually like trying to invent, I guess.
Trying to create.
Yeah. So no, I did not have my holes movement of invention.
No, you didn't.
No. So
that's unfortunate.
I don't know. 5 years ago and where I'd be now. I if I was really looking back and I was coaching, that was when I was in London, then I was like overseas for a little bit, then I'd come back. Yeah, I mean, I would think that maybe I would have maybe my own like running a club or also coaching somewhere,
right?
Like as like an associate head coach. I saw myself, but who knows?
So not too bad.
I just abandoned ship on that and then decided to go with more, real world stuff.
Yeah, because at the time there was zero money coming in with the coaching. Coaching's tough.
It was really tough. It was a total grind. Would I trade it for the world? No.
I thought you gotta love it.
You gotta really, really love it. You spend it's very eye opening how much time you have to spend. It is like a 60 to 70 hour work week for a good chunk of the year.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's like 60 hours. I mean, like, yeah, if you want to factor in like traveling, and like booking hotels, buses, food, like all of the in-season stuff and the scouting and the practice and the video sessions. I mean, like you're just really working almost all day.
Yeah,
almost.
And you got to deal with the parents and the kids.
Not in college. Not in college.
That is true.
Not in college.
I bet you Coach Nev got an email or two from a parent in college, guaranteed.
Yeah, but He set it up. I'm sure he did. I'm not going to say no to that. And I'm sure because there's plenty of parents that have plenty of opinions that need to be shared.
Yeah. Can't blame them. I get it though, man.
Right.
It's their kid out there and they're probably paying, you're definitely paying for their education unless you're a superstar.
You do just have more resources, more time. It is so much more comprehensive of an experience other than just high school or club. You have so much more time with the athletes. You get all year. You tell them to like read a book. You can tell them to like build culture. We have all this stuff in line. You can essentially make them believe almost whatever you're preaching if you're a good enough coach. And it's up to the players obviously to buy into whatever you're saying. But if you're good at delivering a message and you're clearly good at it and it's established and you come from a pretty reputable source, as far as like keeping parents away, I feel like it's a much easier task to do.
Totally.
Because they're also getting an education as well.
When you were in college and you played D1 volley, did Coach Knight knew you guys would be like, hey, after a big win, stay safe tonight?
I mean, I'm sure. Well, I'm sure he knew.
Don't be idiots. If you're going to drink and you need help, call your teammate.
Yeah.
Type of vibe.
I mean, he knew that we were not idiots. He knew what we were doing.
Right.
He knew what we were doing, and then I think if we were idiots, he would have found us in jail doing something really dumb. And so at least he never found any of us really doing that.
Yeah,
at least me in particular.
Right. I meant more so I'm watching a college football, after game interview or something, and the coach afterwards all right, boys, we know you're going to go celebrate the victory tonight. Be safe. If you're drinking, call a teammate. I'm like, if they're in college, these guys aren't, most of this is 99% of these players aren't 21.
Sure.
They're it's a very small population that probably isn't 21 in that room.
Right.
And they're all drinking.
Right.
Most of them are drinking. 99% of them are under the age of 21 and 99% of them are drinking. Mm-hmm. And it was just weird to me. It just kind of popped in my head do coaches kind of preach the whole, we know you're going to drink, but
yeah, it was
be chill.
It was always be smart. That was it.
Right.
There was no drinking or anything. It was just,
what you're doing.
Yeah. Don't be an idiot.
Right.
Take care of yourself.
Don't wear your gear outside.
Right. Don't wear any fucking gear. Don't bring that logo around all over the place.
Right.
You're the face of, the program and just don't be an idiot. So that was always the thing. And be smart, and we're doing something that is going to be more meaningful, and we're doing something we have more time invested, all that stuff. So
yeah, some good talks there with that.
I guess, I mean, yeah, I had so much higher hopes for the 5-year track, but here we are, and I'm doing more. I have more flexibility with my life.
Way more. You're free on the weekends.
I'm free on the weekends. The golf game is and will be thriving. I feel like I've got way more of a life actually just outside. And if volleyball coaching is what I wanted to do, and I had that much love for it, great. But it wasn't. And and people ask me if I want to go back and coach. Would I ever do that? Because I get asked that sometimes. I give it a good thought, and then I'd probably later down the line, unless something crazy happens where I'm super successful, but I don't know. Maybe would regret my life, but there is a positive where you can impact other people's lives pretty greatly in that role as well.
That is true. That's always cool having another great coach that meant something to you. Mm-hmm. At some point in your life where you probably needed that, or brought you to the next level.
Especially, you don't know what other players or kids are coming from. They might have a very destructive, very unsettled childhood, parents,
right?
Whatever you can. There's a million different things that could come from that. So
you just never know where you're really getting a hold of a kid.
Sure.
I also, was hearing, changing gears here, like we do here. Keep up. We're going from first to fifth to sixth. It's just a classic in the Cabbage podcast. What else do you expect
it's a
from
bouncy
the boys?
ball effect,
If you'll catch up, you'll learn. It's like a secret little language you pick up on the boys. Something about coaching as well was Tom Brady went on, an interview and got publicized that someone asked him what he thought of current brand of football today. And Tom Brady gave a very honest answer and said it's not as good as it once was. And then Aaron Rodgers got asked the same question, and Aaron Rodgers would agree. And I just find it to be true. The players right now are, it seems like aren't as good. I don't know. Like the wide receivers, of course, are great, but back then you had like Chio Chocinco and Terrell Owens, and the only person I would say was on that level right now is Tyreek.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's pretty dominant.
I mean,
for the last 7 years.
I mean, he's just been
the dude's
unreal.
Been really solid.
There's plenty of fun people to watch, but I just find the brand of football right now, like all the penalties and the different crazy ass rules. Like there's so many times where I watch a football game and I'm like, what? What was that? What was that call? Like I clearly see he stepped in bounds, but what is that, a bobbled ball or is that not a bobbled ball? Because you're going to see it two different ways.
Yeah, I saw the comment, or I saw the part of the interview where Tom Brady was talking about that as well, and I wonder why that is, because we're in an age where video is at an ultra premium. It's probably not going to get much better unless you get some 3D simulation going on,
right? Where
you're actually playing against the other team and like in a film session,
right?
It's as good as it gets. I like if what we had at Long Beach when I was playing and coaching like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, like that was really good. Like I could watch whatever I wanted and watch all their attacks. I can watch all their serves in like 3 minutes,
right?
From 5 matches. And so like I guarantee you in the NFL, there is something very similar to that. So you could argue they have all of that, all of the rehab, all the video, all the experience and coaching and money. And like, I feel like there's so much to it. Like why is it not a better product? Why does Tom Brady say that? Was it because they were making more from less? Or is the overall quality just dropping because maybe the rules are changing, flags are a little bit touchier. There's no, the hitting with. There's all these penalties when you're like leading with the crown or the helmet. What do you maybe make of that comment?
He said the coaching isn't as good.
Okay,
so like coaching players on how to do certain things and how to run your team and the culture behind it isn't as good. That they want to protect the offensive player too much, that it's on the offensive player to protect themselves and the defensive player to stop them. So essentially they are taking away the essence of football, because you're like, okay, you can't really do your job as a defensive player, which is like at all costs get this guy down on the ground, where offense now it's like, you can't hit me here, can't do this, can't do that. Which is, in turn making it hard. Like Tom Brady be like, there'd be games where I play against certain defensive players like Ray Lewis, and I wouldn't throw the ball over the middle of the field because I knew then Ray Lewis would destroy that person.
And they'd be out for
the game. And I didn't have the luxury of losing a player in that way. And so now offenses don't have to worry about that. You can throw the ball wherever the hell you want, and you're going to be decent or fine. They're not going to change a lot of these rules. They can minimize them and do better for sure. But I find it just weird in general, the game. Every week, I am seeing a horrific injury. Mm-hmm. Horrific snapping of a leg, ripping of ACL joints, blowing Achilles out. Just horrific injuries. And then on top of these horrific time-delayed injuries come flags. Mm-hmm. And just people really milking the clock. And then when you get down to the end of the game, it's like fourth quarter with 8 minutes left and there's 2 touchdown game and your team has the ball. It's also like, how often do you come back from those games? It's probably pretty little. It's not like the NBA now where you're down 10 with 5 minutes left in the game. You're like, this is anyone's game still.
Right. You're right in this.
Then you're captivated till the end of the game.
Yeah.
Baseball, unless it's a huge blowout, which is, very rarely is it like a 5 or 6 run game going into like the 8th inning. You're pretty much in the game. Football, you can pretty much call it. This play means everything.
Totally.
Like you're on a 3rd and 8, and there's 4 minutes left. You need the first to keep the ball moving, and you like turnover.
You can almost see the game like in late 3rd quarter. You're down 2 scores, and you've like been punted the last 2 times, and you're like about to punt again. You're like, this really could be the last 3rd and 3 right here.
Right, this could be everything.
If we punt again and they go up 3 scores, no chance.
Yeah, it just feels like you can call games easier. Like,
Not for our bets, though.
No. I meant like when the game's live, like this game is over. Not beforehand. Unless you're my wife, who's in this Pick'ems league and has gone back-to-back with like 20-some other people in this league.
Should have her run our Bovada.
I mean, call it like losing money. I mean, we just threw all of our money away on Thanksgiving football.
We took so many L's.
We lost like $40 that day.
Each, though.
Yeah, each.
Yeah, that was tough. We shared the account, so it was 80 in there, and we just chucked it all to Bovada.
We just said, here you go, enjoy your Thanksgiving meal.
We gave thanks.
I thought we had a couple of those, but I guess not. I thought it was going to be very cut and dry, but the games were at least good. Swinging back into Thanksgiving a bit here, I wanted to hear any highlight dishes you had? Anything that changed this year or was maybe better than average?
I love the highlights here. I think the one, I was looking elsewhere, but the one that I have not had in a while is party potatoes. And boy, let me tell you.
The party potatoes are all time.
Oh my God. I forgot how good those things are.
They're very tangy. I love the tang in them.
The tang, I mean, it tore me up.
Yeah, I mean,
in the insides, because it has,
you just can't handle that.
It has pounds of sour cream in it, and it's her hash browns. I'm pretty sure it's cheddar cheese, sour cream, butter, and hash browns.
Yeah, I mean, it's just all of that,
and it's baked in the oven. It's got it's the goated mac and cheese. It's way better than mac and cheese.
Yeah, it's tough for me to agree, but I would say it's my favorite.
Right, it's right there next to it.
It's right next. They're kissing cousins.
I'm having better party potatoes that my mom and dad make than if I were to just get whatever mac and cheese is out there. I'm taking the safety route here. Sure, there might be one mac and cheese out of 50 out there that's going to beat it.
I would say because the party potatoes is such an elite dish, you have to put an elite mac with it.
Okay.
You can't just go, someone make Kraft singles. Like, yeah, of course, party potatoes are going to be better than Kraft singles. You know what I mean? So you got to throw out something with like maybe bacon on top with like a thyme herb breadcrumb on top of the mac and cheese. Someone who took some time knows what they're doing. So party potatoes highlight dish?
Yeah, party potatoes is the highlight dish.
Let me hear the letdown dish.
The letdown, unfortunately, was actually the turkey, and that's not usually the case over at the Roux household.
Oh no, what happened to turkey? Yeah, the fried turkey.
It was just overcooked. It was a little bit of. It still tasted great, and I know they were bumming about it in a big way.
Oh no, they were really bummed about it
because they went over to the Red Barn and got these turkeys.
Oh wow,
yeah, and those birds
fry them, don't they?
They smoked one and fried one,
both overcooked.
Yeah, the smoked one was like a little bit over, and the fried one was like roasty toasty. It's got no moisty.
Roasty toasty. It's got no moisty. That is all time wordplay, my friend. That's all time. Roasty toasty, got no moisty.
It was dry, dude. It was really toughy.
No gravy saved it.
I mean, yeah, but it still was kind of chewing on leather almost.
Damn. Roos are taking shots. Roos are just taking strays. Oh, they're never gonna want to make turkey for you again.
This is what Lloyd told me to say, honestly.
Really?
No, I don't know. I'm trying to give myself any saving grace.
You know, but they 99.99% of the time, they are diming it.
Yes.
On everything.
Right. And so that was the biggest like head scratch. That's why it stood out to me the most. Because normally I go over there and I have the deep fried turkey and it will fuck you up. It is dangerous. Because I don't know what they do with it. Like they salt brine it and then they do all this. And dude, it's so good. I'll just eat that stuff. It doesn't even need gravy most of the time, you know? And, they bought a better bird. It was like $75 for like a turkey from like the Red Barn.
Damn.
And I'm like, ooh, okay. And so when it came back that dry, it was a little bit of a bummer. But the flavor in the actual turkey was very good. I could tell he was bumming a lot. You know, it was.
Is it Lloyd's job for the turkeys?
Yep, that was him, and I sat right next to him.
Oh, were you giving him some warnings, like maybe possibly got pull that?
No, because I was doing other things too. I was doing the mashed potatoes. I was doing the green beans.
Nice.
Socializing stuff. It's outside the fryer, so I was kind of in the kitchen, a little bit more hands on. But those were the highs
and the lows,
there. And then also, my mom always does a really, really nice filet mignon roast, and my dad did a really nice a rib roast as well.
Nice,
and both of those hit pretty well.
I think
really
steak's starting to make a change for people on Thanksgiving. I think a lot of people are doing steaks now.
Big roast,
big
prime rib roast,
something like that.
Yeah.
To me, that's more Christmas though.
It is.
It has to be turkey for me. For Thanksgiving.
I'm really glad because there's no way I could go turkey Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. Because I had three Thanksgiving. I went turkey, filet, and then ribeye.
Yeah, I love turkey. I don't know what it is. I do.
I do like turkey. It's good.
I love the leftover turkey too because you can throw that in enchiladas. You can do it with like a mole. You can do it with a fried rice.
I really want to make a turkey stock out of the carcass next year.
Yeah,
I would love to do that.
That'd be a good idea.
I'll take one from the in-laws,
right?
You know, and just take it back, add a ton of carrots, onions, and some celery in there.
Boil that thing down.
Yeah, just make an unbelievable stock. Because it's in the fryer oil, or or the smoked one.
The smoked one would be great.
That would be really cool. I really want to snag one of those and take it home.
I want to every year just spatchcock turkeys. Period. From now on.
Mm-hmm. Did you do that?
No, I didn't because I didn't do any cooking. I just helped with chopping a little bit. Did the stuffing, which is great. It's always pretty good stuffing. Vavrocks really do it well.
I was going to ask for your highs and lows, but you did. You did one main Thanksgiving.
Main Thanksgiving. Yeah, I stopped by my mom's. Didn't really do much there. Just kind of swung by, said hi. Had some cheese and wrapped salami, and it was out. Dad's was like a Wednesday. Just kind of bagels, hung out. So the highlight for me, which is the highlight every year for this, they kind of do it every year, which is their charcuterie board.
Oh, nice.
They have a really crazy layout, really nice cheeses, great meats, honeycomb.
Do they also do like the nuts and the raisins and like the cherries and like
different marmalades?
Oh man.
Like it's just a feast of like different textures. And
sign me up for a Thanksgiving dinner. That's it right there.
We just do that.
I can make a living off that.
They do coffee in the morning with like some sort of like French toasty bread thing they make that no one really touches. Maybe some people, if they're really starving, will have a bite or something like that. And then we come back and we have like an early lunch, like maybe even set up around 11. We kind of did later around 1 because we were having dinner later.
Mm-hmm.
and it's just that carries you over into dinner.
Yeah, that's
awesome. It's a great warm up
because you're also not like making yourself super full ever, but you're just like constant nibbles, kind of grazing around.
Yeah, you could go up, have some drinks for flowing heavy that day.
Yeah, that's great.
Letdown for me, I'm not a huge gravy person, so for me, I didn't love the gravy. I thought it was really good. Like, it was good, but it just wasn't my favorite. I don't know why. Maybe I grabbed the wrong stuff because I heard there was 2 different gravies. Mm-hmm. So I think I grabbed the wrong gravy. I don't really do anything besides just make a little pool of it in my mash every once in a while.
Okay.
And that's about it. But the charcuterie board and the mashed potatoes at the Vavrock's house has exactly what you said you're having, but now it's just a mashed potato. It's like sour cream, cream cheese, butter, and whatever else.
Yeah.
The stuffing, though, for everyone else is the highlight of the Vavrock's house.
Is that good?
That's the one you had the only one you enjoyed.
Oh, that stuffing was great, dude. And Aunt Sherry on Katie's side does a great stuffing as well. That's her thing.
Yeah,
so
it's really stuff, like the big cubes of it with like a sourdough, focaccia, mushrooms, and it's a lot more earthy and funky than it is soft and mushy. And like if you're making stuffing with like white bread, you have Wonder Bread in your stuffing, you gotta stop. Can't do Wonder Bread.
It's like shredded and it's like a weird mush situation.
Yeah, you stuff it in the bird and you take it out of the bird. Can't have that.
You know what's actually called dressing?
If it's in the bird,
that's stuffing.
But when it's out of the bird, it's dressing. Mm-hmm. I'm going to call it stuffing anyways.
Yeah, please do. My dad corrected me on that, and I was like, wow, really? Dressing?
Love that.
All right.
Did you go, you made some stuffing? And he's like, no, it's dressing.
No, we got on the top. We didn't have any stuffing with our dinner. I don't even know how it came up.
Does he do a lot of the cooking or all the cooking?
He did all the cooking.
Pretty decent cook.
He's a great cook. He knows exactly. He keeps things very simple and just executes it really well.
That's your dad.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just...
If you sum it all up and put it in one sentence, that's kind of him. That's his mantra, baby.
That's keep it simple, do it
right. So he's the one that had the party potatoes, pan roasted.
He had party potatoes?
He brought out the party potatoes. And
your mom's recipe party potatoes.
Yeah, he brought it out.
Is that a foul?
I don't know.
That might be a foul on the play.
He does it every year.
That's a crazy move. If I was divorced and my ex was busting out one of my recipes,
it's a big play.
That is a big move.
I'm not saying much about it though. I mean,
you're excited about it. You're just reaping the benefits, but it's a crazy move.
It is a little wild. So he did bring that out with a rib roast that was done really well. Very gentle herbs on there with some rosemary, thyme, garlic. Super simple. Asparagus.
Fire.
Pan-seared. And a little bit of salt and pepper, olive oil, lemon.
Football
on all day.
Yeah, there's something better. That's like why Thanksgiving to me is just my favorite holiday over Christmas.
It's great.
It's just so much easier.
My mom's was really solid too because we ended up I did all the cooking actually over there.
You're kind of the cook now, aren't you?
My mom had a little bit of a crazy situation, so I just kind of stepped in there, and it was a good situation. I trimmed the filet mignon roast and got it all situated.
Nice.
And I ended up doing medallions instead of like on the spinning trivet because it was just 4 of us over there. So I cut like little medallions of filet mignon. I did the green beans with some pancetta and a little bit of balsamic. Salt, pepper.
Nice.
That was great. And then mashed potato bar.
Mashed potato bar?
Mashed potato bar.
What's that?
Kind of. We didn't have all the accoutrement, but
so you can
you do like chives, you do bacon, you do sour cream, butter, cheese. You can dress it all you want, or just keep it super simple with gravy.
See, I love everyone's even if people don't like the Thanksgiving meal, every family does it pretty different, and there's always like a highlight or a twist to each family meal that I always enjoy. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're doing fish though on Thanksgiving,
I don't know
issues.
I don't know if that plays.
People do salmon. I've seen salmon. If I went over to a house to go celebrate and like we made salmon for Thanksgiving,
Well, it's because you ain't a salmon lover, though.
I would leave.
You ain't a salmon boy.
No. I just on the principle of the matter, I would leave.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. If someone is breaking out a big pan roasted salmon for Thanksgiving, it wouldn't feel right.
It wouldn't feel right at all.
Whenever you think of Thanksgiving, I always think of like a meat.
Yeah.
Like a lamb protein.
Ooh, you know, it'd be good like a leg of lamb one year or something.
Oh, yeah, dude.
There you go. Mix it up on the protein or like a pulled pork.
Some people don't like lamb, though.
Yeah, you gotta really do it right. You can't really play around. There's not a lot of wiggle room for it.
Yeah, I know. It'd be really cool if you did two kinds of protein, like a lamb, like a spatchcock chicken. There you go.
I think you just do a bunch of chickens. If you just did a bunch of spatchcock chickens, or if you had the means of roasting chicken on a spigot, like if you just did a bunch of that, like you would not hear a peep from me.
Are you sure this is like a sports podcast?
No, it's in the Cabbage. We go
all over. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, if you don't like food, I don't know what
true.
It's one of our hobbies.
Well, no, we love it too. We can't get enough of it.
I mean, it's my favorite, one of my favorite things in the world. Clearly,
I know, dude. And because we can do a bunch of chickens. You can do like a Cajun, simple lemon and herb. You know,
rub some butter on them. I love rubbing butter on the turkey. That's my favorite part.
And just massaging the meat, getting all ready.
Yeah, just like after you spend all this work cutting his backbone out.
And then just breaking the breastplate afterwards.
And you rub him with butter. It's very, you gotta get the wife out of the kitchen when you're doing that stuff.
Oh, are you kidding me? Touching poultry is like sinful.
Yeah, I cut the backbone out last year, and I had to send Madison to like the other room because
center packing.
Yeah, no way I'm gonna hear her. Like, is that okay? Are you supposed to be doing that? Is that safe? Like, I don't know if it's sanitary. Please cut that out. I don't want to eat that.
Please get out of here.
Right.
I'm gonna Lysol the entire kitchen.
Right.
I'm not, but for you, I will.
For you, I'm telling you. Everything's getting a spray down at the end of the day.
Right. Please leave. Go
take your dog.
Go have some wine.
While I smack around this turkey for about 10 minutes. Try to get this thing in the oven. I want to do a Friendsgiving next year. I missed doing it, actually.
You did it really, really well the year prior, and I'm bummed we didn't do it this year. I know Zach was trying to do it, actually. It just was a little bit last second, and I think a couple people were a little too busy for the time. But I don't know. We gotta get that going back next year. I think it'd be really fun. I think if you did you do chickens or turkey? You did turkey.
I did 2 different turkeys.
Right. I think we did 1 turkey, and I can bring 1 other protein.
Yeah,
that could be cool.
Or you could just do smaller birds.
Or you can do 2 turkeys, and I can bring a great side or a couple great sides.
Yeah, you just gotta have people bring some, and it's much easier. I've offered to do it in my family. Like, can I bring something? And everyone's like, no, we'll make it when you get there. But anywho, I think it's time for some hot takes.
Hot takes.
Get your hot takes here, as we did on our last podcast. Just
we're gonna bring it back.
See if we're gonna spice it up a little bit. A thought to round out your week from last week to this week. Give me your hot take here, buddy.
You're gonna put me on the spot here. Okay, I got it here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna go very far from this whole food topic thing,
right?
And I'm gonna stay right there at home because let me tell you, I am buying big time the banh mi sandwich.
Yeah, you're on the banh mi heavy right now.
I think I recently discovered this banh mi sandwich, and I don't know the restaurant's name, but I had it right before coming over here. It goes toe to toe with just about any sandwich.
For you?
For me.
Yeah.
If you get a really good banh mi, and I'm not saying you can't just grab any, because I don't think this one has pate on it. I have no problem with pate. I've had one with pate before. It's great. I don't think this one does. This one has more of a Vietnamese mayo or butter on it. And, dude, it's really, really good. Like, a lot of times you get the banh mi where the jalapenos are way too hot, or like the meat is just like way too skimpy and like not marinated enough. There's a lot of bad ones, but when you find a good one, or if we were to make one, I think a banh mi could pretty much go toe to toe with any top end sandwich.
I would agree.
Up there, like, you know, out there. You know,
banh mi is a fire sandwich. I haven't had enough good of them.
Yeah.
My hot take here, it's a very simple one. It's not always greener. I think a lot of times during the holidays, you see other things, you're doing other things. You always think it's greener, or you reflect on the year and you're like, wow, it would have been so much better if I had this. You don't know what that would have been like. Can't control it. It's not always greener.
I like that, dude. I'm glad you went second, because I was just throwing out nonsense and you're coming in with a really, really homey message.
Hot take.
Hot takes.
All right, buddy. You got any last little words here for the people before we get out of here?
You know, I'm going to be coming back maybe a couple shades a little bit darker.
Yep.
Next week. I'm going to be heading over to Mexico, actually. I'm
really
looking forward to it. Taking a little trip. Shout out to the Nielsen's for having us over there in Zihuatanejo. It's going to be a great old time. Really much looking forward to it. And so in the Cabbage Instagram might be looking like a little bit more of a vacation look.
I love that. Getting some views in the stories would be great.
Over the weekend. So keep your eyes peeled and go ahead. Once you do see that post.
Tell them what they're going to do.
Or if you go see the story, you stumble upon what we're kind of doing, go ahead and give us a like.
Yep.
Go ahead and give us a share.
Yep.
Blast it off to all the friends and fan that you know. And then hit that damn follow button.
Yep. Like it. Comment. Tell us you like us. Tell us you don't like us. I don't care. Just be active. Like Andrew said.
Fucking tell me that I suck and my voice is just annoying. So you can do that too.
Like Andrew said, you can tell us we suck on all major platforms.
You can find us there.
YouTube, Spotify. You have our website on Podbean.
I do have one more thing. Again, I want to give a little shout out. To this guy right here sitting to my left or your right.
Ooh.
We could be very much live here. I don't want to like jump the gun on this.
We're getting close.
But like the video footage on YouTube is coming.
It has to happen.
And it's going to happen.
Yeah, before episode 50, we're going to have a live viewing of us on YouTube. It's going to start growing this podcast to a new level. We're going to have to be a little bit more cognizant on what we say, even though we are on YouTube currently. It's just our voices, though.
Right. But then it'll be our faces. So shout out to you, buddy. Voices. And then, shout out to you and just take us away for an all-time close-up.
Yeah, buddy. Like Andrew, everything. Subscribe. We're going to be there because we're in the Cabbage. And just a reminder, keep swinging.